And everything starts with belief. One of my favorite quotes of all time says that whether you think you can or you cannot, you are right. Whether you think you can manage your addictions, whether you think you cannot manage your addictions, then you are right. Welcome to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. My name is Alec and I am your host for today. And before anything else, I'd like to give you a huge shout out. If you're new to this podcast, then welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. If you're already returning to the podcast, then I am grateful that you're here back again, joining me in this journey to self-improvement. I really appreciate all of you guys, especially those who are sharing the podcast on their IG stories and tagging me along their stories. I am reposting each and every one of them. So please, if it's not a hassle for you, go share this episode right now on your IG stories and do not forget to tag me at Small Talk Podcasts, and I will be reposting each and every one of you on my IG. And yeah, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts right now, do not forget to give me a follow. And of course, do not forget to leave me a rating and review. These ratings and reviews are the reasons why our podcast is climbing the Apple Podcast charts and self-improvement and education charts. So you are the main reason why we are, slowly getting traction and getting more and more known to a lot of people. And if we are known to a lot of people, then we can provide more value to them. So please do not forget to give this podcast a rating and review. I received a review last week, and it says that this has been all over my IG feed lately, and at first I really don't know what it was till I came across their IG feed, and voila, I got hooked. Really inspiring, more powers. And that review was from Dwayne. So Dwayne, if you're listening here right now, thank you so much, and I hope you continue to support the podcast and its cause. Thank you again, Dwayne. I really, really appreciate it. So yeah, with that being said, let's head on to our topic for today. And our topic for today is all about dealing with your addictions or managing your addictions. This topic was suggested by a good friend of mine, Jack Angeles. And this topic is a very personal topic for me. And instantly, when I received the suggestions, I got a lot of amazing suggestions. But when I received this one, I was like, okay, I want to do this one first, because at an instant, it's like I kind of know what to say already, because I have dealt with a lot of addictions in my past, and I've seen people around me dealing with their addictions on their own. And I've always been a reflective person, and I've seen what are the factors that help other people succumb or manage their addictions, and some people, stay with being an addict for the rest of their lives. And one of the main reasons why I think that people can manage their addictions is because of their mindset. And that's what I want to achieve in this episode. I want people to understand that if you have the right mindset in dealing and managing your addictions, then you can manage and deal with your addictions. And at the end of this episode, I hope that you are able to create a declaration. You are able to create a clear and concise statement that will propel you to managing and dealing with your addictions. We will have that statement later, and that statement will come from answering the questions that we are about to discuss later on. So let's dive right in with the first thing that we need to answer. Right, and the first factor that we need to adjust to, we need to twist in order for us to have that mindset is accountability. I want you to remember these three words: accountability, belief, and love. These three words are what will be crucial and critical for you to have the right mindset in dealing with your addictions. And let's start with the number one. It's accountability. Accountability can be answered by what? What are your addictions? What are you addicted to? What are you addicted to? And a lot of people might say, no, I'm not addicted to anything. Well, reality check. Every single one of us is addicted to something. If you don't know how to classify your behaviors and your habits as an addiction, for me, I think that addiction is a bad habit or a bad behavior that negatively affects you, and you know that you want to stop it, but you can't. And the moment that you tried stopping your addictions is the moment that you felt more stressful. It led you to become more anxious when you tried to stop it. You were having withdrawal symptoms that you tried stopping it, but you just can't. You just can't get that hurdle that, okay, I tried stopping it. And that for me is addiction. And some of us, are addicted to some more common causes, like some of us are addicted to drugs. Some of us are addicted to smoking. Some of us are addicted to drinking alcohol. Right? And some of us are addicted to something na hindi masyado obvious. Like some of us are addicted to eating chips. Some of us are addicted to watching Netflix. Some of us are addicted to sleeping. Yeah, you can be addicted to sleeping too, right? And we can also be addicted to some of the more abstract things in our life. Like we are addicted to self-pity. We are addicted to seeking validation from other people. We are addicted to judging other people. We are addicted to social media, and we are addicted to the spotlight, to the likes, the comments, the shares that we have on our profile. Some of us are even addicted to bad people, and some of us are even addicted to bad relationships. Some of us are addicted to toxic people. We know that we need to remove them. We need to get rid of them, but we're just addicted to it that we can't stop dealing with them. Right? We are all addicted to something. And accountability. And I want us to be fully accountable for that question. I want us to ask ourselves and to be brutally honest with ourselves. What are we addicted to? I want you to take this time to, go on, just get a notebook, face nothing, play some music, and face the wall, and then just think, what am I addicted to? Be honest with yourself. Because the first step in dealing with your addictions is to actually accepting that you have an addiction. We can only change something that we can measure. And if we cannot measure that we are addicted to this, and we can change that. We need to understand that we gotta accept in ourselves that we are addicted to something. And you do not need to be ashamed of it. A lot of people don't want to admit to it that they're addicted to something. Why? Because they feel like they're going to be judged. And another thing that we often overlook is that we are all humans. Every one of us makes mistakes. That means that if we are open and we are admitting to ourselves that we are addicted to this thing, and like saying it not out loud, para baliw na, pero saying it with conviction, I'm addicted to smoking. Okay, that's the first part. And it's freeing in a sense that when you say that, a lot of people will say, that's fine. I'm addicted to this too. I'm addicted to that thing too. And you'll see okay, shit, everyone makes mistake. And I don't need to be ashamed of having this kind of addiction. Right? Mas nakakahiya pag hindi natin kayang tanggapin yung mga pagkukulang natin. Kasi if we are in denial of the things that we're wrong about, then hindi natin matatama yun. The first thing we need to do is to accept that we are imperfect. But there are a lot of things that we can do better. So that's the first question that you need to do. What are your addictions? And that leads us to our second thing that we need to adjust in order to create that mindset. We need to understand, you need to remember the word belief. Right? You already answered, okay, I'm addicted to smoking. But that doesn't end there. Right? You're not saying that you're addicted to smoking, period. Hindi ganun. You're addicted to smoking, but I can stop that. It's the belief that you can change. It's the belief that you can handle, that you can modify, that you can deal with your addictions. And everything starts with belief. One of my favorite quotes of all time says that whether you think you can or you cannot, you are right. Whether you think you can manage your addictions, whether you think you cannot manage your addictions, then you are right. Belief is the seed that is planted inside your thoughts and inside your heart that there is this possibility of making things better. And if you're addicted, like, right, if you say that you're addicted to smoking, I'm addicted to smoking, but I can change. It's that belief that you can change. And I want you to instill that thought. I want you to create this belief in yourself that you can change. Because I've seen people, I have, a lot of you guys don't know this, but my father was addicted to gambling. Before, when I was a kid, and when I wake up, I could not find my father. And hindi siya uuwi for a week, for days, because he was just gambling sa casino. And what's worse is that he is gambling our money. Every single time. We weren't rich at that time. So imagine just a little amount of money that we have, he still gambled it. He was that addicted to gambling. And every time I tried to tell him, "Pa, stop. Tigil mo na yan." He would always say, na ganito na ako. He had this belief na ganun na siya habang buhay. Fortunately, a perspective shift happened. Hindi ko alam kung ano nangyari sa kanya. Siguro, nung iniwan ko siya, nung naglayas ako sa bahay and nagkaroon siya ng time para mag-isip, he changed that belief. And that started his progress in not being addicted to gambling anymore, in not being addicted to casinos anymore. It's the belief that I can change for the better. If you do not have that belief that you can change, then trust me, you won't be able to change. It's that easy. But belief is a starting point. You need to have a firm belief that no matter what happens, your belief will always be there. You need to have faith in your belief that this will happen. Because let me tell you one thing, in the progress in dealing with addictions and dealing with bad habits and bad behaviors, it will take time. But one thing that I've learned is progress is not linear. You will experience relapses and make you think, nah, shit. You will experience temptations that will eventually, you might fall and get back into that funk. But once you fail, you must still have the belief that you can still be better. Because if your belief is weak, then if you experience a relapse, if you experience a setback, then masisira lahat ng progress mo. But if you have that firm na no, I can be better, I can do this, I can manage this, then you will manage it. Kahit anong setback pa ang maramdaman mo, kahit anong setback pa ang maranasan mo, you will be able to do it because you have that firm belief in your mind and in your heart and in your soul. So I want you to answer that. What is my addiction? And then ask yourself, can I do something about it? That's the second question. First question is, what are my addictions? Second question is, can I do something about it? And the answer is yes, you can. So you can now, so we're now 2/3 of the sentence, right? First is, I'm addicted to smoking. Second is, but I can stop smoking. But I will stop smoking. That's the conviction that I want you to have. But I can change that. I'm addicted to pornography. I'm addicted to sex. But I can stop that. The thought, that belief that you can change is very, very important. And that will lead us to the third factor that you need to adjust for you to be able to deal with your addictions. And I want you to remember the word love. I believe that people are motivated in two ways. You can be either motivated in moving towards something or in moving away from something. Right? You can be motivated by moving away from rejections, moving away from sadness, moving away from disappointments, moving away from failures, right? You don't want to experience that stuff. And you'll get motivated by it and you'll do it. You'll do the stuff that you need to do. But you can also be motivated by success, by happiness, by acceptance, by abundance. Therefore, you are moving towards these positive things, and you will be motivated to do the things that you have to do. But from my perspective, I feel that if you are moving away from something, that will only lead you to neutral grounds. For example, you have a cup and you want to drink water in it, but the cup has dirty water in it. If you're moving away from something, that what you're focusing on, what you're putting your energy onto, is removing. I don't want to see that dirty water, so I'll remove it. Right? I don't want to see that dirty water. I want to drink the dirty water. Yun yung focus mo when you're moving away from something. So you'll throw away the water. Voila, successful, right? Pero nakainom ka ba? Did you drink healthy, clean water? No. But if your focus is moving towards something, but if you're moving in a positive state, like you want to drink clean water, right? So what you're going to do is remove the dirty water, clean the glass up, and then put some clean water. That's the difference. You don't just want to move away from something. You want to move towards something. And I've already talked about it in the previous podcast that you can do things out of two reasons. One is out of fear, and the other is out of love. And love is the greatest force in this world. There is nothing impossible when you do things out of love. Love is like the biggest motivator in this world. For example, imagine this. You have two friends, right? And one friend is, you really love that friend. This friend that you have is like one of your closest friends, and you love him, you love her. At all costs, you love that friend. And then on the other hand, you have this friend that you don't like that much. You kind of hate him, right? But he's your friend, but you hate that friend, right? So then when the time comes that both of your friends comes and ask for help, who are you going to help? The person that you love or the person that you hate? Of course, you're going to help the person that you love. And this simple mindset shift na kaya pala tayo may mga times na hindi natin, kasi I've seen people that they try to change their addictions, they try to change their habits and their bad behaviors, but they're doing it because they hate themselves. You can do it for a certain time, pero if you are moving away from something, if you are doing it because of hate, because of fear, then it won't last. Darating yung point na makakaranas ka ng setback. Darating yung point na may hirapan ka sa ginagawa mo. And if you're doing it out of fear, if you're doing it because you hate yourself, and if you're doing it because you hate yourself, then that won't last. But if you're doing it out of love, kahit anong hirap ang pagdaanan mo, kahit anong hirap ang maranasan mo, you will still keep on doing it. I've seen people na people work out, right? And this is one of like the easiest mindset shift that I tried to instill in myself. I didn't want to work out before, but the thing that I always tried to work out because, I hated my body. But every time na nagkaroon na setback, bam, tigil na bigla. Pero the moment that I shifted I twitched my attitude na, no, I'm working out because I love my body. It sustained me kahit anong hirap ang pagdaanan. No, I'm doing it because I love this. Because I love myself. I love my body and I want to keep being healthy. And that reason, that simple shift that you're doing things out of love will be the critical change that you need to have as you move forward in dealing with your addictions. Right? So I want you to fill out the sentence. First is what is your addiction? I'm addicted to smoking. Number 2, contradict that with your belief. Believe that you can change. I'm addicted to smoking, but I can change. Number 3 is why are you doing it? What is your reason for changing? I'm addicted to smoking, but I can change that because I love my body. I love myself. If hindi pa rin malinaw, I don't want you to focus na I don't want to get sick, I don't want to get cancer, because if you are focusing on that, it's still negative energy. You're still attracting negative energy. I want you to focus on not moving away from getting sick, getting cancer. I want you to move away to something positive. I'm addicted to smoking, but I can change because I want to be healthy. You got to move towards something positive. You're doing it out of love because of the love that you have for your body. And with that simple mindset, it will adjust and change your attitude that will be crucial for you to deal with your addictions. So I want you to finish up with the declaration or the clear and concise statement that you need to have. Now, I told you before, and I want you to think of a declaration that you want to have, even if it's the slightest bad behavior, even if it's the slightest bad habit that you want to change. Put it in a sentence, put it in writing. Everything that you write, you put it out and it manifests in the world. Hindi lang all talk, right? You put it down in writing. Get a notebook, post it on Twitter. Don't post it on Twitter. Write it on a notebook and write it on a piece of paper. And write down your statement. I'm addicted to eating chips, but I can't stop that because I want to be healthier, because I love my body. I want you to remember the 3 things for you to have that statement. It's accountability. What are your addictions? Number 2 is your belief. Can you do something about it? And number 3 is what are your reasons? Is it because of love or is it because of hatred? And once you have that statement, read it every single day and remind yourself of that statement. And with that mindset, you can achieve anything. You can change any single addiction or bad behavior or bad habit that you want. So yeah, I hope you do that. You get a piece of paper right now and write it down. And if you've done that, then the purpose of this podcast has been reached. And that's all I have for you for this episode. And I hope that you learned something today. I hope that you apply the principles that I talked about. If you have any more questions, if you have any suggestions, any more amazing topics that you want to talk about, then let me know. Send me a DM on @SmallTalkPodcast. And do not forget to share this episode on your IG stories. And do not forget to tag me. It's @SmallTalkPodcast, and I'll make sure that I'll repost your IG stories. Also, rating and review on Apple Podcast helps us grow. It helps us reach more and more people, and it helps us climb that podcast chart. So please do that. Again, this is Alec Cuenca, and this is Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. My name is Alec again, and I hope that you have a great night. Peace out.